Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Shade, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you the preview and everything you need to know for tomorrow's game against Lask in the Europa League. And I'm bringing you a very special guest, a guy you've seen on my channel a lot. You're going to see a lot more of him on my channel. It's Charlie at Charlie Thfc. How are you getting on?
Yeah, very good, David. Pleasure to be on again. I always enjoy coming onto your channel, and I always enjoy having you on my channel as well. So yeah, really, really pleased to be on. Good game coming up against Lask. Game that we can sort of seal our qualification into the knockout stages with at least a point, but ideally we want to get that win on the board so we can sort of try and get top of the group, because I think that I still expect us to win the group, of course, with Antwerp coming up at home. I know we lost to them in the first game, but I expect us to beat them. But as you said about Lask, it's not as straightforward as some people think. I do still think we're going to win with a changed side and stuff. But I think Lask, they're going to be probably a bit tougher than Ludogorets, and also they're a team that likes to press. They're an aggressive team. So I think whoever goes out on that pitch yesterday, and there will be sort of changes, as you can see from the predicted lineup there. They have to be on top of their game, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, it's a game that they're going to be able to spoil the party. Look, they can still get through, so it's not going to be easy. They're going to be fighting for everything. This is their last chance alone, and for us, if we win and Antwerp win, they're out of the group. So look, they're going to be scrapping for everything. Like you said, they're aggressive. They like to come out and play aggressive and get at you, and they're the home team, so there's no reason why they're not going to come at us. But look, it's a game. If we win, we're through, and then it kind of just brings it down to the Antwerp game. If we win that, we're out top. If not, we're out anyway. So. Look, I want to get the job done tomorrow. It's a team I honestly think we should be beating anyway. But just to you Spurs fans out there that are watching, it's not going to be as easy as you think. Just into a bit of team news for both teams. Lamela and Alderweireld are a doubt. You're probably not going to see them at all tomorrow, not even on the bench. And for them, they're missing one of their main centre-backs and one of their main centre midfielders. Yeah, so they are missing a couple of players, but it doesn't matter, as you know. Players like they're going to have players that will want to come in and seize their opportunity, especially in the Europa League game. And like games like this is their cup finals, so they will be up for this. Look, definitely. It's a game. Yeah, it's a game we bet them 3-0 in the first game. Look, maybe the scoreline probably made it look a bit better than what it was, especially as you said on your preview show. And if you haven't checked it out, make sure you get over there and check it out. That Son came on and kind of put a gloss on the finish on the game. But yeah, it wasn't easy. It was a hard-fought win, that game. What way do you think we're going to approach this game tomorrow, Charlie? Do you think we're going to kind of sit back and fight them onto us and hit them on the counter, or do you think we're going to set up to be aggressive and go at them like we did against Ludogorets?
Look, I think, as you said about the first game, it wasn't straightforward. It was still a pretty comfortable win in the end, but it wasn't straightforward. There was a few moments in there from Lask where they had a couple of chances and stuff. Of course, I remember they forcing Joe Hart out of a very good save from distance. So, look, they were a bit there. Well, I mean, anyone could have been better than Ludogorets. Let's be honest. Ludogorets were one of the worst sides I've ever seen us play. But look, as well, I think we have to set up and try and dominate the ball, dominate the game, because, as you said, this is a game that I expect us to go and win. So I expect us to be aggressive, get on the ball, and hopefully create some chances, and hopefully try and put the game to bed as early as possible, so we don't have to sort of call upon the big players like Son, Kane, all these guys. Hopefully they can get a nice week's rest for that massive North London derby coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. It's a game I kind of want us to start fast and try and nick a couple of goals, because look, we have the players out there to do it. We'll you see in our predicted lineup there, we have Bale and Lucas. Vinicius proved to us he can score a couple of goals, so we definitely have the players to put this game to bed nice and easy and earlier on. And look, it's a game where, like you said, I don't want to be bringing off any of the heavy hitters off the bench. It'd be absolutely ideal if we could bring on the likes of Dane Scarlett and Harvey White or Dennis Sorkin, players like that, like we did last week, and just give the players a full rest going into the North London derby. So look, it's a game that more or less I would go with the same 11 as we did last week. The only change I would make is Ndombele out and the Celso in. What do you think of that, Charlie?
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Ndombele is a player that needs a rest for this game. Of course, you saw he sort of tied against Chelsea. He got taken off after 60 minutes. So I think Lo Celso is going to come in for this one again. Another opportunity for him. He's been playing very well lately when he's sort of in the Europa League especially. Of course, he scored a few goals in the Europa League. He got one against Ludogorets away from home and a couple against Haifa as well in the qualifiers. So he's been doing well in Europa League. So I think again, another chance for Lo Celso to hopefully come in and stake a claim and sort of build his way back up into sort of starting regularly for us. Because I think Ndombele is going to be rested, and I do think so.
100%, I fully agree with you. And just on Lask, just for the people out there that might not know too much about them, they're from Austria. The game is out in Austria, so we do have to travel, which is not ideal between the two London games we've had. We had Chelsea there at the weekend and Arsenal this weekend, so it's not ideal to do the travelling. But do you think it's a game where they're going to kind of sit back, try and keep it tight, maybe nil all, and then go for the last 20? Or do you think they're going to come out from the start and really go at us and try and go for it?
It's interesting that, because I'm not completely sure, because with all due respect, I don't watch the Austrian league at all, so I'm not really sure how they're going to approach this game. But look, I wouldn't be surprised if they did either, to be honest. Like if they sort of sat back and tried to sort of go for it later on, or they just come at us straight away because they've got nothing to lose. So it could literally be either from them. But as I said, we should have the tools to try and cope with whatever they come out and do. And I think, we should definitely have, look, as you can see from the predicted lineup, there's a lot of quality on that team. And I think hopefully, like against Ludogorets, the players coming in can sort of step up and hopefully get the job done tomorrow. But I think, look, Lask, it's going to be interesting how they approach the game. But I think either way, we should have the tools to deal with it.
Yeah, me personally, like you said, we should have the tools to deal with it. It should be a game that we should be winning. If we lose, there's no excuses for it whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to add there as well in the Europa League. The thing is in Europa League, if you lose games, you sort of only have yourselves to blame. If you know what I mean, like if you lose these types of games, you only have yourselves to blame. Just like against Antwerp. Yeah, luckily we've responded well since then.
Yeah, look, for me, if you lose these type of games, it's purely down to a lack of desire and just switching off and a lack of staying concentrated for 90 minutes. Like, look. These Europa League games, especially the group games and the early qualifiers, their teams you should be beating and beating easy, really.
Yeah.
The only way you end up losing these games, the only way you end up losing these games is by creating your own problems.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I think, look, we nearly went out in the first qualifying round to Lokomotiv Plovdiv, wasn't it? So, but luckily, look, since then and since the Antwerp game especially, we've responded well and we've gone and beaten Ludogorets twice since that. Since that Antwerp game. So, we've responded well. The players that played against Ludogorets last Thursday was a very, very similar team to the one that played against Antwerp, and they responded very, very well. So I'm hoping they can put in another good performance tomorrow. Yeah,
well, look, they've earned our trust. They're players that we've all had our opinions on and kind of nitpicked apart their game apart and where we feel they're not being played. But at the end of the day, that's why they're playing these games, because they're not considered first 11 team players. They're kind of players that step in and out when called upon. So the fact that they put in a convincing performance last week gives me the trust to more or less go with the same starting 11 this week. And look, there's no reason why we can't trust them to get the job done now. Now moving, just on Lask again, sorry. Personally, it's a game I think they're going to sit back and keep it tight up until around 60, 70 minutes. And then you might see them try and be a bit more expansive. I think up until about 60, 70 minutes, you're going to try and see them maybe catch us on the counter or take advantage of a set piece. But I think if it's still in the balance from 70 minutes onwards, see, it's a tricky one from there. So, like, do we bring on the likes of Kane and Son and go for it ourselves, or do we leave them players out there and trust them to do the job, especially because we know they'll come out and they will go for the game?
Well, I mean, you'd think as well, even despite if they do go with that game plan, you'd think that we have enough quality to sort of open them up earlier with the players that will come in for this game. And so you'd hope that we don't have to call upon the likes of Kane and Son, and we sort of have enough already to sort of get the job done. So look, I expect us. Look, you got players you expect the likes of Gareth Bale, Lo Celso, Dele Alli, as well to come in. There's a lot of quality still in that team, and I expect us to find a way to open up them and open up Lask, and hopefully not have to rely on sort of more of the big hitters.
Yeah, look, as we said, it's a game that really, like, you could probably throw a few of the under-23s in there, and on your day you should still really be beating them. So yeah, look, it for me, I'm positive. But I'm just also a bit weary because we have seen some of these players kind of let us down over
It's
times.
all about consistency, and I think hopefully after that Ludogorets game, if they can put in another performance tomorrow, it shows that they're sort of they're gaining a little bit of consistency. Sort of individuals, you've seen the likes of Harry Winks, Dele Alli, these sort of guys that we've been calling for to just be more consistent. If they can put in another good performance tomorrow, then I think it's another step in the right direction. But yeah, look, as you said, Lask, they're fighting. Sort of stay in contention to qualify for the group. So I think it's not going to be straightforward. They're going to be up for this game. It's sort of a cup final for them. So we can't go into this game thinking we're going to win easily, because we won't. And I think these players, hopefully they can do a professional job and come in with the right attitude, just like they did do against Ludogorets.
It's a strange one this season, Charlie. Like, just thinking there, like, as a fan base, we seem to be very positive going into the games against, like, City, Chelsea. We have Arsenal the weekend, which I think a lot of us are confident going into, right? But then you see, like, on social media, like you were saying to me before, that you see fans nervous about the Marine game that we were drawing.
I said if you're not a Tottenham fan, if you don't have a little bit of nerves going into that game against Marine in the FA Cup.
Yeah, look, it's so true. And then, like tomorrow's game, we're probably also a bit nervous. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, man. It's just weird. Look, everyone's like all overconfident for the games against City and Chelsea, which luckily they were right for that game. That luckily we took 4 points from those games. But I'm saying that I don't know what it is. It's just I really don't know. I'll be completely honest. It's a funny one, that.
Yeah, like, just thinking on it, it's probably because against some of the smaller teams we haven't turned up over the past. We were turned over by Colchester last year in the cup. We were turned over by Antwerp in the Europa League. So, yeah, look, to me, I think it's just a lack of concentration in some of these games, maybe going into some of these games too confident. And look, I don't want to say it, but we've been handed the tag of Spursy, over the last few years, and
it needs to go. And the fact that we're starting to see with Mourinho that he's starting to sort of get that out of us. And look, if we can have a successful season this year and hopefully pick up some silverware, then I think that tag's completely gone. I think Mourinho's, he's definitely on the right track to sort of get it completely gone yet. And I think he's definitely going in the right direction to sort of get rid of that Spursy tag.
Yeah, 100%. But look, everything we've seen so far this season can only kind of really steer us to a win tomorrow. But look, we'll get on to the predicted lineup. We have Joe Hart in goals. Look, he hasn't let us down in Europa League, so he deserves to play. And like we were saying on the preview in your show, that Lloris was sick going into the Chelsea game. He played 90 minutes, so he probably will be rested for this game, and he deserves it as well after the performance he's putting against Chelsea. How do you think Joe Hart has done for us so far, Charlie?
I think he's done what he's been asked of. I think in overall he hasn't had much to do, and if you look at it, he's only really conceded like worldies and stuff. So I think he's done a good job so far. I think I think he's played most of the Europa League games, so I think he comes in for this one.
And it was great also to see his reaction to Alfie Whiteman last week, claiming that corner and keeping the clean sheet. It just goes to show kind of why we brought him in, for his character to kind of help out as well. So for me, it's working. It was a deal that a lot of us fans questioned, but seems to be working at this moment in time. It's better than having Michel Vorm in goals for these games.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, Vorm was always a liability, and I think it's a bit harsh on Gazaniga what's happening, but I think the only reason for that is the homegrown quota. So I think Joe Hart, he's done a good job since he's come in. Done everything asked of him. Against Ludogorets, he had nothing to do, and literally nothing at all. So Joe Hart's going to come in. I think so. Yeah,
I fully agree with you. I'm moving on to right back. Toss up between Doherty and Aurier, but we're going to go Doherty purely because we think Aurier will be rested for the Arsenal game. He put in a great shift against the Chelsea game. Another player that's earned their trust in these big games, so I can't see why he wouldn't.
Do you know what it is as well with Aurier? Is that I feel like with him it's sort of turned on its head a bit, because before when he first came in, he was in the big games, he'd always make a mistake, and he was sort of probably better at smaller games. But now it's different. I feel like in the bigger games, he's a lot better than he is in the smaller games. I feel. I don't know what you think about that, but I think he's a lot better in the bigger games.
Yeah, look, for me, it was interesting during the week to hear Dyer give an interview to Sky Sports, basically saying that for years there wasn't that competition at Tottenham, and you do need that competition just to kind of keep up the levels and keep up your professionalism. And look, the Doherty signing has worked magic for me, especially for Aurier, because look, it's a player that a lot of us were kind of thinking we need him out. We need to get in 2 new right backs. We weren't as drastic as that. Mourinho kept faith in Doherty, or kept faith in Aurier, and Aurier has repaid it. He's a player that Ledley King and Jose Mourinho has absolutely worked wonders with. And all credit to the guy, and he's a player that has completely turned it around, and the fan base is behind him. Doherty coming in, look, he hasn't been the best. He's not the player that we thought we were getting from Wolves. But there's glimpses there that he's slowly getting it back. For me, I think it's a player that, it's going to take time. You might see the best of him maybe over the Christmas period or after the Christmas period. But he does the job in these games. So I'm happy to go with him. What's your thoughts?
I think it will be Doherty as well. I think, look, he's a guy that he's sort of having to adapt his game a lot. It's playing as a wing back to a right back. It's a very, very different role. I think that's the main reason why he's sort of had a slightly slow start to his Tottenham career, because he's having to change his game. He's having to sort of rejuvenate his game in a way, and I think it's difficult and it takes time. He's having to readapt his game just to a right back. So I think he's done well in these Europa League games. So I think he's going to come in.
Yeah, just on that as well. Just to add to that, Doherty played in a back five as a wing back for Wolves, and when you look at Wolves, their wing backs push very high up the pitch, almost to like a winger.
Wingers, yeah.
And when they lose the ball, they're kind of covered, so they don't have to get back as quick. So look, it is a big difference. Anyone that plays football knows it is a big difference to switch from a back five to a back four and playing right back. It's a position he has to get used to, and as well, he's struggling to get used to it in an Ireland jersey. So it's not just that Tottenham, but for me, it's a player he just needs time to adapt. Now moving into centre backs, we are going to go with Sanchez and Tanganga, purely because Alderweireld is out injured. Dyer he doesn't need to play. He can be rested for the Arsenal game, and Joe Rodon is not in the Europa League squad, so he can't play. So I'm happy enough to go with Sanchez and Tanganga.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think we saw them against Ludogorets, and I think it's going to be the same again. So not too much to say on that. Yeah,
just for me, Sanchez needs to just kind of use these games to put in solid performances, keep clean sheet, and earn the trust of everyone back again, because he has switched off and cost us a lot of goals. So
he's well down the pecking order now. He's about 4th choice now or something, literally.
He's gone from first choice, where we were all kind of like giving time, to more or less, like you said, 4th choice, and a player that we're kind of considering maybe letting go out the door if we can bring in Skriniar or Numpa Meccano or someone like that. And just on Tanganga, look, he's a player I love. I love his performance against Liverpool on his debut. And everything about this guy screams Ledley King, and the fact we have Ledley King mentoring him as well can only be good for the guy. I just hope he wants to learn off him and listen to him. And he's a player I really hope does push for a starting spot, because he's Spurs through and through.
Yeah.
You've seen from the documentary, he wants to be here, he wants to play, and he looks very promising. So I hope after his long injury layoff, that it's a game again. I want him to keep a clean sheet and look comfortable.
Yeah, and as you said, it's another opportunity for him if he does start, and more minutes under his belt, of course, completing 90 minutes against Ludogorets. So I think, look, he needs minutes and sort of get his fitness back, and get his sort of form back. And I think, without a doubt, I think he's going to start this game. Yeah,
100%. And moving on to left back, for me, it's a toss-up between young Dennis Cirkin and Ben Davies. I think Reguilon will be rested. There's no need for him to play. I don't want any of these lads picking up injuries. But for me, I will be going with Ben Davies. I think you're the same, just purely because he's an older, wiser head. But it is a game. If we are winning comfortably, I would like to see Dennis Cirkin thrown in there at left back to get a run out, to see how he copes in these kind of competitive games. Look, Ben Davies isn't the best at playing out from the back. He's not the best at crossing the ball, but he does his job defensively, I suppose. Yeah. When he does stay switched on.
And as you said, he should be good enough to be part of a winning side tomorrow. I think he looked decent against Ludogorets, and I think he did a job. So I think he should. Yeah, I think we need to give Reguilon a rest, because I think Reguilon's going to be so important on Sunday. So I think Davis comes in for this one.
Oh yeah, Reguilon on Sunday against Hector Bellerin down that side. He's going to absolutely awesome. So
let's hope so.
Now moving into the pivot, I'm going with Harry Winks, purely because look, he earned my trust last week. He played a good game. Look, I know it's only ludicrous. I honestly couldn't believe he scored that worldly.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
I know,
it's insane.
Like, it's a game where, to be honest with you, look, it was that easy. I was starting to lose a bit of interest in it, but I was still watching it. And then he scored that goal. It kind of woke me up a bit. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And maybe that's the bit of luck you need to kind of push on, you know.
Yeah, and apart from the goal as well, he had a pretty good game against Ludogorets. I know it was only Ludogorets, but I think it's definitely a step in the right direction for him. And I think he is going to start this game as well. And I think hopefully he can continue his sort of recent sort of good form in the Europa League. Hopefully put in another performance, because I think it's a lot. I think it's still a long way to go for him if he wants to sort of get back in that Premier League team. But I think if he wants to have any chance, he has to sort of be performing in these games, and I think he's been doing that lately. So hopefully another performance tomorrow.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. He's 100% way off starting in the starting 11 in our team. For me, he's fourth on the pecking order. It's Højbjerg and Ndombele, Sissoko, and the Celso before him. So I think he's number 4 or number 5, I think. So look, he has to be using these games, and he has to look good in these games, and he has to be convincing in these games. And basically, look head and shoulders above the rest if he wants to play. You've seen Ndombele do it last week. So Winks has to step up and kind of use that as motivation. Just looking at Ndombele, and look, the fact that he played forward last week, it ended up going in. Maybe it might actually show him the rewards of being a risky player and trying to play forward.
Yeah, maybe. And he was, against Ludogorets, he was doing a lot of forward passes, which is what we've been crying out from him. And I think, as we say, it's only Ludogorets, so you can't read into it completely. But I think, as you said, he needs to be performing in these types of games. Yeah.
And now moving on in beside him, we're going to go with Lo Celso. He's a player that probably would have played last week, only that he picked up an injury before the game, a little knock. Look, he's a player like you've mentioned. He scored a couple of goals throughout the campaign, and he's a player that I honestly think you will see in there tomorrow. You're going to get plenty of hard work out of him, a lot of running around, getting stuck in, and it's just also that creative side of his game, and hopefully he can continue that run of form tomorrow.
Yeah, let's hope so. And I think, everyone, I don't get it with Lo Celso, because there was a lot of fans sort of digging into him after that thing that happened against Chelsea, that sort of half chance that he could have done better with, which he did. He should have done better with it. But I think people have been really, really harsh on him. He's been a really good player. He was, for a spell of last season, I think he was our best player for a spell of last season. And I think people are being a bit too harsh on him. But I think, he's going to come in for this game. And I fully expect him to perform in this game, because I think that's exactly what he's been doing in the Europa League. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how he does in this game, and potentially another goal or assist in Europa League. So I think he's definitely going to come in, give him Ndombele a rest for Arsenal. Hopefully against Arsenal, Ndombele, he can be fully fresh and ready to go, and he can be ready to eat the likes of Xhaka and Ceballos for breakfast. So Lo Celso will come in for this one.
Yeah, just on the people being harsh on him. Look, it's a hard one for me, but for me, I'd lay off him personally, because we've all played football, and you're not always going to get that final ball. You know,
exactly.
Even when you're playing at the top of your game, there's still going to be a couple of times where it just lacks, where your decision making kind of just fails you at a certain time. But it's not like he cost us the game. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, I agree with people. He could have won us the game, but if we did win it, that would have been absolutely daylight robbery. So look, we were happy to get out there with a point. So I just want people to lay off him, and I fully agree with you. Just ease off the guy. There's not too many players in this Spurs squad we can criticise, and I don't want to go down the route like Arsenal fan TV do, because players do watch these shows, and while we're going for the league title, I just want to kind of keep most things positive. Don't get me wrong, there are players we're likely to criticise, but we don't. But the likes of the Celso and players like that who actually add stuff to the squad, we just 100%. Need to lay off them.
Him and Ndombele are our two most creative players, so he's definitely a key part of our squad. That's for sure.
For me, you can criticise Sanchez all day, you can criticise Ali all day, you can criticise Winks all day. It's all justified in my opinion. But the likes of Lo Celso and that, you just can't criticise him, in my opinion. He's a player that Messi loves playing with at Argentina, so And look, he's still young enough, so you're just going to have to give it time, and he will reach that level where, for me, he'll be doing
and
it.
he's had he's had sort of niggling injuries for the start of this season as well, so he's still getting back to that sort of full fitness. So yeah, I think it's another opportunity for him tomorrow, hopefully.
And now, just in front of them two, we're going to go with Dele Alli. He's a player that earned our trust last week. He 2 assists, played well, very unselfish in a lot of his play. And yeah, he looked like he wanted to be out there. So hopefully he can use this game tomorrow as a stepping stone to kind of working his way back into contention.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he put in a good performance against Ludogorets. He had to. I think anything else, and like even the most Delhi sort of lovers would have been asking serious questions if he couldn't put in a performance against a very poor Ludogorets side. So I think it's a performance he had to put in, and he did well. So I think for me, he's probably earned a start for this game. And hopefully, again, with Delhi, he has to take these opportunities with open arms. And I think I'm just hoping tomorrow he can build on that Ludogorets performance and put in another performance. Because if he does come in, he's definitely a player that's going to need to sort of step up in this game, and hopefully he can put in another decent performance.
Yeah, well, for me, look, he's a player. He's got these Europa League games. He's got maybe the League Cup game against Stoke, and maybe 1 or 2 appearances off the bench before the January transfer window. And for me, if you see him put his all in, he's a player that wants to be here. And if you see him kind of just going through the motions, he's a player that he has his eye on the exit door. So, look, it's an interesting one for me. But, look, he's a guy that I loved. I admired watching over the last few years, and I really wanted to work out for him. So I really do hope he puts in the shift tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we're going to need him tomorrow. If he does play, he's going to be one of the players on the pitch, and he hopefully has to put in a shift, as we said. So yeah, but as I said, I think after Ludogorets, he's probably did enough in that game to sort of stake a claim to start for this one. So yeah, I think Dele Alli in that sort of number 10 role.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. Now moving on to the wings. On the right hand side, I'm going with Lucas, and on the left hand side, we're going with Gareth Bale. Look, Lucas is a player that starts for me. Bergwijn probably be rested. Although, thinking I probably would, if I was a Mourinho, I probably would be looking at giving Bergwijn some minutes tomorrow to kind of maybe hopefully he can assist a goal or get a goal and just get that creative flair back and that confidence back. But for me, Lucas is one that's completely earned his place tomorrow. He scored a couple of goals for us over the campaign, and just the pure work rate, work rate you get out of the guy, and some of the attacking part of the game he sacrifices to work back for the team. So yeah, look, he's a player that as well, he's crucial to linking up with Vinicius. They have a great relationship. He's also teaching Vinicius a bit of English, so it's perfect. And then Gareth Bale is a player for me now that I'd like to see him kind of just excel tomorrow. Just be like, when you're watching it, saying this guy is a class above the rest. Because look, last couple of Europa League games for me, he hasn't been stand out. And we've some very big games coming up, and I really do want to see him at his best now. And for me, I hope this is the game where you see the true Gareth Bale coming out.
Yeah, and as you said there, I think he in the last game, I thought we saw him sort of using his pace a bit more, which was a good sign, definitely. But I think, look, with Gareth Bale, you mustn't forget he hasn't played football for like over a year, literally, before he joined. And I think you just got to give him a little bit more time. Luckily, he is off the mark with a goal, of course, that goal against Brighton. But look, I think as you said, I agree. I think hopefully he can sort of do a bit more in the game tomorrow. But as you said, I think there's definitely signs there that he's slowly getting back to hopefully near enough his best. And I think I think he's going to get another opportunity tomorrow, and hopefully maybe grab a goal or an assist to hopefully get his confidence going again. Yeah,
100%. And have you anything to add on Lucas?
Yeah, Lucas, I think, look, he's a player that I said in my preview. Do you think he may have done enough to sort of maybe stake a claim to start against Arsenal because of his Europa League form? He's been scoring quite a lot of goals in the Europa League. And I think, yeah, he's going to have that start tomorrow. And I think maybe another goal for him, I think, possibly coming. So, yeah, I think definitely Lucas Moura is going to start tomorrow. He's been very good in the Europa League this year.
Yeah, 100%. And look, that's a question I put out to our viewers out there, and get in the comment section below and let us know what you think. It's a great question from Charlie. Do you think Lucas Moura has done enough to earn his place to start against Arsenal on the weekend? So make sure you let us know your thoughts on that. And then moving up front, it has to be Vinicius. I don't want to see Kane out there. I want to wrap Kane up in bubble wrap. In fact, I'd rather leave him at home watching the game. But he's a player we probably will bring on just to sit on the bench. But look, Vinicius, Vinicius, he scored 2 goals last week. He's looking confident. I like his aggression and his work rate. Everything there tells me that there is a player there. And look, it's a striker that Mourinho, I think, will use to kind of mould into a similar like he did with maybe Diego Costa and Didier Drogba at Chelsea. He has all the attributes. And yeah, look, we said last week in the preview show we wanted him to get a couple of goals to boost his confidence.
Yeah.
As a striker, you know, you need goals to keep your confidence levels up. He done it. So hopefully he can bag another 1 or 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And I think those 2 goals against Ludogorets, they did him a lot of confidence, definitely. You can see getting another assist as well against Ludogorets. His confidence must be definitely getting a lot better now. And I think those 2 goals definitely helped him. So I think he's going to be coming into this game hoping to get at least another goal, of course. So I think, yeah, definitely Vinicius will start. Hopefully, as I said as well, we don't have to sort of call upon the likes of Kane and Son. Hopefully the players that probably do start tomorrow can hopefully go and get the job done tomorrow, and we don't, just like against Ludogorets, we don't have to bring on the likes of Kane and Son. So hopefully hopefully they can sort of get the job done. And yeah, Vinicius, another opportunity for him. Hopefully another goal coming from him.
Yeah, 100%. I really do hope he keeps scoring in these games, because especially going into kind of knockout games, you can kind of get away with playing him in one and resting Harry Kane. And then if we need to go for it, you can get away with playing Harry Kane in the second leg, because Kane is a player for me that maybe the last 16, when the teams start getting a bit tougher, that you will see him maybe our first 11 start being intertwined with the players you're seeing now. But moving on anyway, into the score prediction, I'm going with 2-0. Just purely for me, because it's it's a game they're going to be up for. They are going to be aggressive. The first game wasn't the easiest, although the scoreline may look otherwise. But I'm just a bit reserved tomorrow. I'm usually very confident, just a bit reserved tomorrow, but I'm still confident. So I'm going to go with 2-0. But a goal from Vinicius and a goal from Bale. But I know you're a bit more optimistic, so let us know what your score prediction is.
Yeah, I mean, as I said in my preview, I'm going 3-1. I think the way Lask sort of play, in a way, I feel like we could have quite a few chances in this game, I feel. But look, the thing is, I think we might concede, because I think with Sanchez against Ludogorets, he had nothing to do. But it's just against a sort of Lask definitely going to be a bit better than what Ludogorets were. So I think it's just with Sanchez in there, I'm not entirely convinced that he can keep out a better side. So yeah, but as you said, hopefully it is a clean sheet. Hopefully he has a good game, Sanchez and stuff. I really do hope the defence have a good game like against Ludogorets. But I'm going to go 3-1. I do fancy us to get at least a couple of goals. I think my goal scorers, I'm going to go for, I think Vinicius, Lucas Moura, and I think Lo Celso is going to get one as well. So I think I'm going 3-1. Yeah, I think it should be, as I said, a game that we should be going out there and winning, and hopefully getting it wrapped up and done as soon as possible, hopefully. So yeah, I'm going 3-1.
Well, lads, I listened to him. He got the score prediction on this channel right last week. So look,
maybe 2 in a row.
You may well be 2 in a row. So I hope you're right. I'd love to see the goals going in. So look, I hope you're right. But look, there you have it, guys. There's your preview, and there's everything you need to know from me and Charlie. Look, Charlie, thanks very much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Look, you're a guy I love having on, and like I said, we're going to be seeing a lot more of you on this channel. So look, yeah, again, thanks for giving up your time today for me and the Harris Army out there. Yeah,
no problem. I enjoy doing this these previews with on your channel and on my channel as well. Always good fun doing them with you. So yeah, thanks for having me on, David.
Yeah, it's no problem. And everyone, make sure you get over there and check out the preview on Charlie's channel. Also, look out for the match, the fan preview he does for the Arsenal games. Make sure you get on and have your say, because he loves listening to you all, and he gives you a good amount of time as well to get across your point. So make sure you look out for it. It's a good show. And yeah, look, thanks very much for tuning in. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to my page, and show me your support. Make sure you do the right thing, and also put the comments in below with your predicted lineup and your predicted score. Thanks very much for tuning in. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.